up there. But going back, when I told you guys I didn't have an inventory, but I was able to really explain to people that I specialize in custom. So no, I don't have an inventory. No, I don't have things for you to look at, because we're literally going to build your cranial prostheses just for you. And when you say that and you let them know up front, a custom cranial prosthesis can take anywhere from 40 days to 90 days, then they're more willing to wait on it, because it is something that they created. Kind of like, some of those high-end people that say like, oh, I got this car built for me. Or if you ever had a home, that you built and put the cabinets and you chose this and chose that, then yeah, so it's the same language, okay? Just different product. Next, we are going to go to I. So I stands for innovative. So we've been talking about that, different marketing things that you can do. As you can see, my students are at events. They're on the news. They're putting signs up on, I don't even know what it's, on poles that's outside. They have t-shirts made. Date night, they passing out flyers. I mean, they're to the point where they're doing anything that comes to their head. So, and that's kind of where I got with my business that really pushed me to the 6 figures and beyond, is literally saying, we're pushing all ideas. I don't have time to be scared. I don't have time to think how I'm going to look. If this was literally me a year ago, I would have had my makeup done on this call. I would have had a ring light in front of me. I would have went up to the 24th floor conference room. And I mean, I would have did all that stuff. But, it's just to the point where life is now, okay? Life is now. All ideas have to be pushed now. And we cannot not promote our business because we don't have makeup on, or we couldn't find a babysitter, or whatever the case may be. Like, promote your business. Have the confidence, okay? So back to innovative. Throw your own event. So that was something when me and Steven first started working with each other. He was like, man, it seemed like you would be able to find veterans everywhere, but like I can't find them. And waiting on the VA to send you a veteran, you gonna be waiting. So go get your own people, okay? But with that being said, throw your own events, okay? Throw your own events, guys. I don't know, brows and bubbly, wigs and wine. What else? Me personally, I do a veteran brunch every single year. So, and I do it in different places that I work with. And not only that, when Veterans Day come, get out there. Remember those places, Chili's and Fogo de Chao, all those places that's going to be promoting their business, saying come and get 50% off. You show up there too, and you just pass out your flight. Like, people are bringing you the network and the clients. You just have to show up and be there, okay? So be innovative. We've been talking about that all day today. Be innovative, but also throw your own event. So if you already have a salon suite or something like that, do a grand opening all over again. Some of y'all probably ain't did a grand opening in 20 years or 10 years or 6 years, however long you've been in business. Do something. Let people, bring people in, because again, what are we doing? We getting new clients, and we're also warming them up so they get to come in. I have another student, she does walk-in Wednesdays from I think she does it from 12 to 2 or something like that. But if that doesn't work for you, 5 to 7 p.m. Do, whatever you can do in a short amount of time within that time. But do tours. When I was promoting my cosmetology school, I'm like, hey, I have tours. Sign up for a tour. Because I know that once I get them inside and I get to talking to them and we get to laughing and kikiing and being real relatable with each other, they gonna feel like they know me, in which they do. And I want to get to know them too, right? Because I don't just want anybody sitting in my chair. So again, be innovative. Okay, so next we are going to, amen. That is so true. Library meeting rooms are definitely, they're definitely free. Okay, so now we're going to go to T for tenacity. Okay, T for tenacity. Now, every time anybody has talked to me or any Zoom, we're going to be getting on with each other. I have a lot of energy. And that's what I need you guys to have. Regardless of what you're going through, when you answer that phone, you need to be excited and speak in a higher pitch, okay? Because that'll help you sound more excited too when you're speaking. Don't yell at them, but kind of like what I'm doing, okay? Radio announcements, some are free, but there used to be this trick back in the day too where you would ask them for loop, and what happens is they loop you throughout the day. So when you're trying to get those high volume spots like 5 p.m. or 7 a.m. in the morning, sometimes those can be pretty pricey. But if you tell them just put you through a loop, then that way, yeah, you're going to come on at 3 in the morning, but then you're going to also run through that loop. So you're going to end up hitting those high volume times anyway. So eventually you'll hit the 12 o'clock and the 7 a.m. and the 5 p.m. and the 7 p.m. I don't know if they still do that, but that was a little trick back in the day. But yeah, so T for tenacity, being excited. So anytime you're on the phone, anytime your client is coming in, you need to be excited. And there's so many things that you can do, because one thing I love about this business is because you're in a niche market, and your clients that have alopecia, they need you, right? So I don't have to worry too much about people chair hopping or whatever the case may be. I have people that's been with me since 2018, since I started working with the insurance and the VA hospitals. So they absolutely need you, right? And then you're not competing with Amazon, and I see wigs on Shein, and you're not competing with everybody that woke up one day and decided that they wanted to sell wigs, right? Because you're doing custom work, right? And the cranial prostheses, they don't look like your everyday lace wigs. Now, when they're on your head, they do, but once you take it off and your clients see the construction in the inside, it's completely different than what they got off of loveme.com, okay? So, again, T for tenacity. So you need to be excited, and then every day you have to trick yourself. You literally have to wake up and say, this is going to be the best day of my life. We're going to make so much money today. We're going to talk to so many new people today. And you will be surprised how your body just start doing those things. You start having ideas out of nowhere. You start talking to people. You start just getting up, getting dressed, and say, you know what? There's a cancer center up there off of whatever, and I'm gonna stop by there with some cookies, and I'm gonna stop by there with some flyers. You know what I mean? So you're able to market, and there's people out there that have $1,000 to $2,000-$3,000 that's willing to pay for that cranial prostheses that's gonna last them anywhere from a year to 2 years. Okay, even higher than that. I don't know if y'all ever heard of Freedom Hair or Freedom Wigs, but those are $6,000 and above wigs. They're not accepting insurance. They're not accepting VA benefits. So there's so much you could be doing, but people don't know because you haven't put the word out there. Okay. Going back to networking. Who else in your city is doing something, right? So me and a lady connected. She make pixie wigs, and she do it for people who have alopecia. So that's her niche. And I just so happened had a lot of clients asking me about, pixie wigs. And I was like, I don't want to go back to school. I don't want to have to take a cutting class or anything like that. So me and her, we do a lot of business together because I simply get the medical wig, the cranial prostheses. I send it to her, and I let her literally cut it to the pixie style that client is wanting. So a lot of networking can be done. Yes, the Chamber of Commerce, they have a lot of events, especially for veterans too. They have events. What else I was getting ready to say? And some people don't know how to edify people, okay? A lot of people don't know how to edify people. So you have to learn how to edify, and I'm trying to figure out what's another word, how to properly present people, right? So typically what I would have done is I would have had someone speak for me before I came on, right? Because I'm the presenter, and that person would have edified me. They would have told you about all these amazing things about me. That's the same thing that you do. I literally was in the mall with my son. I took him to go meet and greet with Sonic, me and my other friend. Well, my friend was there, and she does a lot of business with things in social work. And then this lady that I did some business with about cranial prosthesis back in the day, she actually does hair transplants. She's well connected with doctors. But she does so many things. Construction, she does a lot. And so when I saw her, I said, oh my God. And guess what I did to my friend who does not know this lady? Oh my God. Miss Elizabeth, this is the woman that you need to meet. This woman right here, this woman is a boss. Okay, she's been in business for years. You see what I'm saying? So y'all have to learn how to properly, and I'm not saying lie. Now, if Miss Elizabeth wasn't a great person, I'd be like, hey girl, and went on about my business, wouldn't even have no conversation. But she really is a great woman, and it's so much that, you know, people can learn from her. But I'm like, man, I would love for them to connect with one another, right? So you have to learn how to properly edify, especially if people are going to be inviting you to events. You want to make sure that you know what I mean? Like, it's a team effort, right? Because her network is now your network, and your network is now going to be her network. So, and I just love that so much because, again, I'm not responsible for bringing the network, right? But if I share my platform with her, then you see how that works. So it makes a huge difference. So always network. There may be somebody in your area that's doing something similar, but not exactly what you're doing. So it made sense. I needed somebody who does pixie cuts. She needed more alopecia clients. You know, we're working one-on-one with each other, right? I would say my biggest thing, right? So it's easier to convince. I hate using the word convince because I'm not in the business of convincing. But it's easier to market to a client that you've already worked with before. Because remember, we talked about this. They're now your warm market. So one thing I can say, students, like I still have students that reach out to me back from 2018 when I was teaching lash classes. They're like, I'm still profitable from your techniques. And I'm like, wow, I don't even do lashes anymore. I can't stand them. They're so tedious, right? Thank you. I was like, let me get another word. But yeah, so she has also taken my permanent makeup class. One of my permanent makeup students now take measurements for me for those clients that are in another location. So she takes the measurements for me, and I've also taught her how to install the glueless ones. Right now, we really haven't went into like adhesives and attachments and stuff like that. So that helps me a lot in my business. But a lot of my students still continue to work with me years later, okay? It's like, you know, anything that I come out with, I have students that's like, I literally want to be doing whatever you're doing, I'm in for it, right? And so that's what I'm saying to you guys, because clients that you already have been working with, and Malakia has been in a business for over 20 years, and she told me today that she has clients that she's been working with. So with that being said, there is power in the follow-up, and there is money, y'all. There is money in a follow-up. For the most part, when we're in the hair industry, everything requires a follow-up. If somebody is getting a relaxer, if somebody is getting a silk press, they need to get that every 6 weeks or something like that. Pixies, I was talking to this girl in Detroit. We was on the educational platform together in Pennsylvania, and she was saying like her clients come in for, I guess, like a recurl once a week. I'm like, oh my God. So what should you be doing ahead of time with your clients? Before they leave their chair, that's what I used to do with my permanent makeup clients. Before you leave my chair, I already booked your 4 to 6 week touch up. Now, hey, if you want to call me and cancel, cool. But we're going to already put it in the system. And here we go with that talk I was telling y'all about earlier. Girl, you know I'm busy. I don't care if I don't have 0 clients lined up. Girl, limited spot. You know I'm busy. So you want to get on these books? Girl, okay, let me pencil you in, because you know once I get to moving. You know what I mean? So hype yourself up, right? Definitely power in the follow-up and money in the follow-up. So I keep a calendar. So remember I told y'all last year in April, I was able to have a $40,000 a month. So again, I have my calendar. This was April. I was looking for that same $40,000 again. Depending on different people, exactly, going. Y'all remember that commercial with the dollar? Ooh, gotta be quick enough. But yeah, so these clients, when it comes to like VA or the insurance, sometimes they're approved for one, sometimes they're approved for 2 cranial prostheses. But what I can count on is every year at that same exact time, every April, these clients are going to be due for their cranial prostheses. And guess who they receive a text message or a call from a week or 2 before it's time for them to, do their renewal process? Divine Beauty Bar, okay? And before I got to the level of being confident, because for a while I couldn't hear any feedback about my company. I was too far in, just too sensitive. So I paid my sorority sister $10 a call. So she called 10 people, she got $100, okay? So I literally would pay her $10 a call to call them, and I would be honest with her. I would give her a little snippet, like, oh, everything was great with this person. You can call them everything. And I'd be like, oh, she wasn't really feeling the color, but let her know we have a new supplier. Send her these pictures. Like, hopefully she'll give me another chance. You know what I mean? And my line sister would call me back and give me honest feedback. Like, she said she loved it, but yeah, that color was off. She really didn't care for that color. Okay, well, I'm going to throw in an aftercare kit for her. You know what I mean? Like, be honest with yourself and your business. Sometimes you may have to do some service recovery. You may have to throw in a free gift or something if you did wrong, or you know what, hey, your next install is on the house, whatever the case may be. But take it like a boss, take it like a business owner, and be better. That's all you can do. Mistakes will happen. But as you can see, I look at my calendar ahead of time. Where are we at? We in July. So these are all the people that I have written down. And so I told you guys I was out of commission in July. But look what I was able. Can y'all see that? Did it do it right? Okay, so look what we was able to still bring in. So going back to that question, are you making money from actually doing the work, or are you making money from the class? So as you can see, anytime I'm running anything through the Square app, it's cranial prostheses. Look what 12 clients brought me, y'all. 12 clients at $3,000. I was blessed to be able to have a $36,960 month. Okay. And then when you look at top categories, it says women's hair replacement. If you look at the previous month, so here's another thing. When you're waiting on clients to get their stuff in, they may not always do it right then and there. So again, I was looking, I had a $45,000 month last April. So I was looking for that month again in April of 2025, but we landed at $23,587. But then look what happened in May. People start getting their things in, things start moving. And so even though, what is that? We're still at 36 plus 23. Yeah, that's pretty much a $60,000 in 2 months just off of cranial prostheses. Okay. But I've been consistent. I've been consistent for many, many years. Okay, so let me make sure I touched everything that we talked about on our exit plan. Remember, exit doesn't mean you're going to get up and quit that job tomorrow, but just have an honest, it's time to get serious with ourselves and have an honest conversation about what is it that you need to exit from. Are you going to restaurants? And exactly, that's not even 30 days. That is not even 30 days. Y'all, 12 clients, that's not even one client a day, and it brought in over $36,000. But it's time to get serious with ourselves. So exit to me can be whatever you need to exit from. So maybe you're telling yourself, I'm tired of only being able to go to restaurants. I saw something that said, what was that celebratory restaurant that your family will always go to? Like, what do you mean celebratory? Like, if I want to go to Eddie V's tomorrow I'm going and I'm going to take my son. If I want to take a cruise, if I want to take a trip, I've been to over 38 countries, by the way. If I want to go to Thailand, if I want to go to Egypt, wherever I want to go in this world, I'm going to go because God gave me dominion over this world. So that's how you got to wake up and talk to yourself. Like when I wake up in the morning, I used to grab my phone. I used to do all those kind of things. Now I wake up in the morning and I pray. When I try to be consistent at this. I try to do the 5 a.m. Read my Bible. Sometimes it be about 6, 7 a.m. But yeah, you know what I mean? Like you can't do it without God. But you also have to be specific in those prayers, okay? Praying for uncommon success. I typically don't even share results, but sometimes you need it. Sometimes people have to see that proof. So not just my results, but also my students' results too. Stephen, there's a video on YouTube where Stephen and his wife is talking about how they made over $3,000 off of one wig. This business has literally changed their whole household. And one day Courtney called me and she said, like, you are a household name in our house. And I was like, that's so funny that you say that, because that's something that I pray for. I pray for Divine Beauty Bar to be a household name. I want all the veterans to know me. I want all the students. When veteran pop up in your head, I need y'all to think of Desiree, okay? With that being said, but there's so much that you guys can do today. I randomly was Googling stuff and I saw that the IRS will reimburse people for medical expenses. And it literally said, including cranial prostheses. So that's a whole gem that you can market today. Did you know that the IRS will reimburse you for your wig? Because it is a cranial prosthesis. It is a medical device.